Hello and welcome everyone to the ISCA Saturday Cup Series. Here, the Napa Auto Parts 250 at, I do believe, Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it has been an exciting week of racing here this week for sure. We've seen just an awesome race on Thursday. Of course, we saw Kenny Powell finish second. I do believe Derek Heitman winning with a last lap pass. Now, of course, here we are on the Saturday Series, a whole new cast of characters. Of course, my name's Brian Britt, and I'm joined in the booth by Big Al. How are you doing, Big Al?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Doing great, actually. Excited to be back at Atlanta again. This time it's a little bit different circumstances, a smaller field, but I think it's going to be just as exciting. Got a lot of drivers here tonight that definitely got to put their hearts into it, Brian, if they want to be in contention for this thing here. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that I'm really feeling good about the 24 tonight. I'm hoping that Kenny Powell can be a feel-good story for everybody that's watching this thing tonight and actually put it in the winner's circle, man. What are you thinking?
I mean, that'd definitely be nice. Be a good come up for him. Just considering he got second place on Thursday, it'd be even better to get a win here tonight. So I agree. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there also that want to get that that push to try to get a win as well. I mean, I know Kendall LeBron. I know he's had a lot of trouble in races past. I mean, heck, I'd love to see a guy like Gary Adamson go to victory lane. To be honest with you, I got to be a little different than you.
No, that's awesome, though. I mean, because I do believe a race, especially like Atlanta, though, it's going to be wide open for anybody. Just like we saw on Thursday, because you made mention that Derek Heitman was the winner in the ISCA race on Thursday, and he led one lap, Brian. That was the last lap. So this field, like I said, a little bit smaller, but I think it's just going to be just as intense here, man. I think we're going to see a lot of good racing. I know we're going to see some three-wide racing. Might even actually throw in some four-wide racing. What do you think about that?
It definitely is 100% in the realm of possibilities. Of course, qualifying is underway. We have about 4 minutes remaining. Your favorite to win, he's out there right now, Kenny Powell.
Well, I didn't say he was my favorite. I just said, I think that will be a great feel-good story. There's a lot of guys out there I think that have a probability to win this thing, but I think if with the luck that Kenny's had, I think I would be kind of hoping for those guys as the underdogs.
Yeah, I definitely can get that for sure. Well, let's take a quick gander at the point standings coming into tonight's race. Just taking a quick gander at it here. Chris Severa, of course, top of the board with 2 wins. He has 259 points. He's been very, very consistent. Second place is Don Avery, has 2 wins as well. So I think the separation really with these guys is the amount of top fives that they have. Chris Severa has 4 over Don Avery's 3. Darren Mullins is sitting in 3rd place in the points. Josh Schaffner in 4th. He also has a win, but he is quite a ways back there from the points leader, Chris Severa. Kenny Powell is in 5th place in the points. 6th place, Jose Acosta. 7th place, Randy Mullins. 8th place, Greg Wachinski. 9th, Joey Preby. And 10th, Wes Doms, who I haven't seen. I don't believe we're going to see him tonight. Love to have him back, though, for sure. But definitely glad to see all these guys out here in competition, and can't wait to see who's going to break that tiebreaker for them. They got 2 wins apiece, Chris Severa and Don Avery, Big Al.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be, I mean, look, this is a tough nut to crack, and you got to be in the right place at the right time. I'm expecting there to not be a lot of cautions tonight. We had 2 cautions outside of our scheduled stage breaks on Thursday. But I do believe we do have a high propensity to have cautions here tonight. The probability, Brian, I do believe it's in our mix.
Yeah, I agree. I do think we could see a caution, that's for sure. I mean, we did see one on Thursday, like you just mentioned. Let's talk a little bit about the race facts for tonight's race. Of course, it's the Napa Auto Parts 250 here at Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta, 2008 scan of this racetrack. Of course, we have extended the races and added, it's now 100% fuel. Stages are 35 and 75. Of course, race ends on 163 going to 164. 5 sets of tires, 4 actually down in the pits, and I think they're going to use a lot of those tires just considering how this place eats them for breakfast. 64 laps on the fuel window, so that is definitely going to make that these guys will have to do a green flag stop at the end of the last stage. But then again, could we see a caution come out similar to how we did on Thursday? I think a caution came out right when they needed to pit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wow. You brought that up. That was probably one of the most controversial cautions I've seen thus far in this league because it just seems so convenient at that particular time. And, if you remember, the individual that kind of caused that caution actually went on the lead like 15 laps after the caution. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that happen tonight. I think if we do see a caution, I think it's probably going to come closer to the end of those stage breaks. But not necessarily into the pit window, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, hopefully we do get to see that green flag pit stop completed, and these guys have had a lot more time over the week to practice in the A Opens, and it directly compares to what we have to deal with here in the ISCA now, considering the 100% fuel. So these guys have had more time with their cars. They've been able to make even more adjustments, get adjusted to their driving styles as well. But now that time is starting to run out here in qualifying, let's go ahead and take that step away, Big Al, and play our national anthem.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Driver, start your engine!
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Cardiology, I don't have a heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new up to catch its breath. Napa know how. Napa know how.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We got the grid set for this evening's action. Chris Severa going to be qualifying on the pole with a 30.744. Greg Wachinski going to be starting on the outside pole on that 5 machine. Second place going to be, or third place, I should say, Darren Mullins. Fourth place, his son Randy Mullins. Fifth place, Joey Preby. Sixth place, Don Avery. Seventh place, Jose Acosta. Eighth place, Kenny Powell. Ninth, Josh Schaffner. And rounding out our top 10 is Al Kozlowski.
That's going to put Paul Ocean in P11 with Kendall LeBron on his outside in 12. Gary Adamson and Derek Jacobs round out this 14-car field as we get set to go racing here at the beautiful Hot Atlanta Speedway somewhere out there in 2008 time. Now, this is the bumpy version of this track, so I don't know, Brian. I think everybody should actually be tightening up those straps pretty good here. And, and if we think about it, I don't think this Gen car ever raced on this track in real life.
No, I definitely didn't. I'd be curious to see what it would look like. I mean, I would assume it's probably pretty close to what we see here on the service. I'll tell you what, these cars definitely don't lack a whole lot of downforce at this racetrack. You see those spoilers definitely pointed right up into the air, going to provide some much-needed grip on these bumps. But, of course, tire wear is substantial here. And these guys are going to definitely use a lot of those tires here tonight. And every chance, I think if we go plus 10 laps, plus 20 laps, I think tires are going to be used.
Yeah, the key is going to be trying to save those tires. And we did actually get a very interesting conversation with Derek Heitman on Thursday night in which he said that he got some pretty good advice and it said, hey, don't save too much tire, kind of go ahead and let it hang out a little bit. But we saw a lot of different strategies on Thursday. I want to see if any of these guys actually went back to the drawing board, came up with something different for us here tonight. Pace car is down and out of the way, Brian, and I think the green flag is out and we're off and away. Chris Severa wasted no time in getting this field started and going. Greg Wachinski going to be high on the outside. They're trying to figure out exactly what line he wants to take. The father and son duo of Darren and Randy Mullins actually getting split up there on the start. We'll see if they're going to actually fight to kind of stay close together. This isn't really a track that's good for racing. Look at Don Avery getting busy there. He's getting jiggy with it, Brian.
He definitely is. He is definitely trying to move up right now. He definitely has some company still on the top side. Looks like he does get clear. Don Avery now up into the 4th place position. Definitely one of the biggest movers right now. Loving the new scheme there from Joey Preby. Looking a little bit different now in a 16. So definitely a little interesting to see him with a little bit of a number change there. Chris Severa, of course, leading. Randy Mullins already to the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of different pace schemes out there tonight. We'll talk about those as we get through this thing here in progression. Don Avery wasted no time, though. He started 6 all the way up to 4th place right now. Back in the field farther on, drivers starting to try to figure out exactly how they're going to get situated. Jose Acosta coming right up onto the back of Joey Preby there. These two they're going to be swapping spit and swapping paint probably at the same time here, Brian.
Definitely could be the case. Randy Mullins with a little bit of a blinking issues. He still is painted on that top line. Kenny Powell, one you want to definitely or hope that he wins this race here tonight. He's definitely right back here, I do believe, in 8th right now, but he's going to be moving up quickly. We know he's got a lot of speed in that 24 machine. Randy Mullins now has lined up with his father, Darren. Of course, we saw on Thursday that Randy had an issue, had to go down pit road and stop his race. Hopefully that is not going to be the case here tonight.
Yeah, still not sure what that was about. Whoa, Powell slips about on the outside. Jose Acosta right there. He's got his G&G teammate, Al Kozlowski, going to be coming up into the fray. Now Powell is going to be pushing the 16 of Joey Preby himself. Now he's going to be up along the outside as he tries to better his position. Now coming up along the outside of Randy Mullins there. Got Darren in his sights.
Yeah, definitely an awesome view here from Josh Schaffner's camera here. Kind of see what he sees in his front windshield as he starts to move a little bit higher on the track, but he backs out of it. Josh Schaffner always known for saving tire, and I think he definitely made a methodical decision, a scientific decision there, knowing how he is. I mean, he treats this racing like it is a science.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it kind of is, though. I mean, you think about all of the formulas that go into being successful here. But one thing that was definitely wrong, we got a lot of glitching going on there with Mr. Preby. Not sure what that's about, but that's definitely going to cause Jose Acosta to get a little bit unnerving for Jose Acosta, I should say.
Yeah, definitely is going to be a little bit scary as he tries to figure out where that 16 actually is as he keeps blinking in and out of view here. So I'm sure Jose definitely trying to take it a little bit easier. And I know Schaffner's going to be patient here. He knows that Jose doesn't know exactly where that 16 is. Hopefully everybody's kind of coming up on the radio and saying, hey, man, we don't know where you are.
Oh, and there's the contact right there. The 16 and the 42 make contact. 16 now high on the racetrack, though, going out of the way. But, yeah, not until him and the 42 actually swapped a little bit of paint. Now there's going to be an issue there back for further on in the field, somewhere around Derek Jacobs and Paul Olsen. We'll be dealing with them. Caution is out. I do believe contact was made as the 16 and the 27 definitely got into contact with each other. And I'm going to tell you, Brian, that right there is not, I'm not bitching, but he's glitching. You know what I mean? You just ruin a guy's night as well. So that's not good. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Derek Jacobs had any clue where that 16 was. You see the 16 spinning around right there, and unfortunately the 27, nothing he could do. I mean, only 8 laps into it. Gosh, I hate that for that 27. I mean, had a good night on Thursday. Just unfortunate to see his race already over.
And the 16 continues to glitch right now as the field is trying to figure out exactly how to get stacked up. Now, we will say that the 27 of Derek Jacobs did take a tow. That's definitely going to have an adverse. That's going to have an adverse effect on his finish tonight, Brian, because he put himself on a tow truck. That's going to put him at least 2 laps down here tonight.
We'll take a look here. This could have happened to anybody. Taking a look through the 27's viewfinder or viewpoint here. And he had no clue where the 16 was until it was somewhat too late.
I don't know. I think he kind of saw him though. I don't see how he couldn't have seen him up there.
Yeah, I mean, he was blinking in and out. He kind of knew whereabouts he was. Maybe his view was different from ours, but we did see little sputtering evidence that he was up there.
Yeah, I mean, we did kind of, well, I don't know. I don't understand why you would try to occupy the same space. I'm not sure what's going on with the 16 right now. I think he's definitely going to have to disconnect, reconnect, maybe try to figure out, what's happening with his with his connection here, Brian. It seems pretty stable right now down on pit road. We'll have to see if it holds on.
I just hate that for Derek Jacobs. I mean, I don't see why, if he, like you said, if he was aware that he was up on that top line, why would he go up there? That's definitely a good question. So I think there might be some differences maybe in what we see and what he saw possibly. I don't know. I definitely want to give Derek Jacobs the benefit of the doubt that he didn't know he was there.
Yeah, as the 16 now, Derek Jacobs has manually disconnected from the event, which means he would no longer be participating. 16, snug as a bug down on pit road, not sure what he's doing. There he is. Now he is off and away, and blinking he shall go. He's going to be trying to get out ahead of the pace car. Not sure if he's actually, looks like he is going to make it. But, yeah, he's still got some major issues, Brian.
Yeah, I'm hoping that some guys are telling him, that whole time I'm sure that they were over the radios talking to him about it. I would hope so.
You think? Do you think there's one person out there that has not told Mr. Freebie that he's blinking? I'm just asking for a friend.
No, I definitely think somebody's probably told him. But pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to have our second restart, or I should say first restart of the night after a caution based on an accident with a blinking issue. And hopefully we'll be able to have us a nice green run. This is definitely going to shorten this stage up a little bit, though.
Yeah, it's going to definitely have an effect on the stage, Brian, because right now these guys are probably going to have a better shot than we did on Thursday night because they did actually have a caution early on, just still 25 laps to go. Pace car going to be getting out of the way here momentarily, and we're going to get back at it and see if we can't get this thing done.
And there goes the pace car taking a left turn, as now the field is in the hands of Chris Severa once again. A little bit of wheel spin from a lot of the drivers through the field. Wiggly, that is for sure. As it looks like Avery now going to see if he can't get underneath Greg Wachinski and possibly take over second here. Kenny Powell's also been making his way through this field. Of course, he was just a little bit ago, up to 8th now. Oh, contact with the wall there from Greg Wachinski right in front of Kenny Powell.
Yeah, had a lot of little wiggles there on that start, didn't we? But Chris Severa now your leader. Here comes Greg Wachinski around the outside of Don Avery. He is going to be trying to get himself up to P2. Jose Acosta simultaneously on the moves on the outside of Josh Schaffner.
Now, one thing very interesting about this racetrack, it seems like a lot of guys, you can touch that wall, but it doesn't necessarily take away all of your momentum. We've even seen guys make passes from after hitting the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of wall riders here so far this week, Ryan, and I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to continue to see, but everybody's single file line right now with the exception of Wachinski and Acosta. Those two guys jockeying for position. Wachinski going direct head-to-head against the 11 of Avery.
Yeah, even a little bit of contact, I do believe, a little bit of trading paint going on the racetrack as Wachinski tries to hold on to see if he can't get some runs up here on this top. And it looks like Chris Severa's going to slide right up in front of him.
Might have 3 wide for the lead here before too long, Brian.
It definitely could very well happen. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully these guys think better of it. I mean, this point of the race, I don't know if 3 wide would be necessarily the best idea, but I think they are willing to do it, though.
Yeah, sometimes you got to mix it up a little bit.
Well, definitely Chris Severa under a lot of fire right now from Greg Wachinski. Wachinski getting some really good runs.
Yeah, but I don't think Severa's really worried about it. I think he's just kind of keeping these guys at bay. I don't think right now that Wachinski is going to have the speed to pass him. Although Wachinski's been super fast here, especially through practice. Also with one of the Mullins, I believe it was Randy that was up on the top of the bunker there. 50-50 shot. I'm going to screw it up.
Schaffner right now battling with Randy Mullins. As Schaffner, of course, trying to work his way through the field. He's right now side by side with the 54 there. So that's pretty much some of the only side-by-side battling going on right now. Of course, you do see Wachinski and Don Avery still battling it out. They have been battling for just a couple laps now. And it does not seem like it has any signs of slowing down.
But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. These guys have been going at it for so hard for so long, Brian. It is going to cause a little bit premature degradation in their tire wear. Now, some of these guys in the back kind of laying low, taking it easy. I'm not saying the guys up front haven't been doing the same identical thing. I'm just saying that some of the guys that haven't been as racy might fare out a little bit better because we know this track tires are going to be, they're going to be the long pole in the tent.
Yeah, definitely very important to manage your tires for sure, as we see Josh Schaffner now getting side by side with Darren Mullins. As he has gotten by Ringany, trying to work his way up through the field, but Chris Severa is still your leader. Now, I heard a lot of guys have been talking about Chris Severa. I know he doesn't usually race a whole lot during the week, except for Saturday it seems like, but he's been doing some A Opens this week, and I've heard he's really fast.
Well, really fast is a big problem right now for Randy Mullins as he is right there side by side with Kendall LeVron. LeVron now going to get the advantage. Now he's going to pull right up to the back of Josh Schaffner. This battle right here is going to be for what I do believe to be 7th place. As LeVron, who has actually, advanced his position, Schaffner still kind of chilling, laying in wait, being very patient. That's why I dubbed him the Iceman.
Yeah, he definitely has earned that moniker for sure, as we have a little bit of some wiggling going on from Kendall LeVron and Randy Mullins. So, Virgin on 3 wide. Looks like Kendall LeVron thinking better of it, though.
Now, watch Kendall LeVron as he gets closer and closer to that 42 of Jose Acosta.
You see Acosta right now following right behind the 28 as they are really close to 28, kind of pinching the 54 down a little bit, and it seems like it worked as he gets a big run and is able to get by Randy Mullins and now enters, I do believe, that's 8th place position. So big moving for the 28. Definitely love to see him have a huge recovery. I know he's had terrible luck over the last several races.
Yeah, it's a big pinch, though, Brian. I mean, I don't know. That felt like more like a mafia shakedown right there than it did a pass.
Definitely did seem that way, as we see Greg Wachinski has finished battling with Don Avery. He is now in that 2nd place position, trying to catch up there to Chris Severa. For the most part, everybody in a line except for Kendall LeVron and Randy Mullins.
Still trying to figure that position out, but I'm going to tell you, all of this is going to change in about 5 laps, Brian, because that's going to be when I get about 25 laps on those tires, plus 2 laps for the caution. So once about 27 laps, that last 8 laps or so is going to be really tedious here.
You can already see that the tire fall off is quite substantial. These guys will start out hitting low 31s. Oh, Greg Wachinski into the wall. Darren Mullins all the way to the bottom. He's going to take him 3 wide.
Yeah, that's not going to end well right there, I promise you. It's not over yet. Greg Wachinski high. We're 2 by 2. As now you got Darren Mullins down on the inside. This is allowing Chris Rivera to get a little bit of a reprieve, and he's going to drive away.
Yeah, we saw also guys that weren't really able to, or they were able to drive away, but it was not necessarily the best thing to try to do. But I don't think Chris Rivera really has a choice with how these guys are racing each other. You see Kenny Powell getting really close to the wall as well. Kendall LeVron has drove his way up into now 5th place and is right on the back door of Darren Mullins. You see Don Avery starting to drop some spots. So a lot of guys, I think the handling seems to be different from what it was on Thursday, Big Al. I'm wondering if the conditions are different.
Well, the track conditions are definitely different. It's 88 degrees ambient air temperature right now. That track temp, though, 107 degrees with a wind out of the northwest at 10 miles an hour right now. So the guys are seeing a little bit of a cooler track, Brian. But another thing is that caution came at the opportunity right there, allowed those tires to kind of cool off. And so now these guys are going to have a little bit of a different effect there just trying to get through this first stage.
Yeah, I think that wind is quite high, too. 10-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, that could easily affect the handling of these race cars.
Yeah, especially gusting up to 12, with a bumpy racetrack, with dirty air. I mean, yeah, you're just wondering what's really going on. Kenny Powell now has pulled himself all the way up to 2nd place now, just a 10th of a second off of Chris Rivera's bumper. So I do believe here, Severa is going to want to have legs to run this thing out, and I'm certain he's got just the calculations to do that. Best guess, I say he just kind of leads Powell on a little bit, maybe, like draw him in, let him burn his tires out just a little bit quicker, maybe.
Yeah, could be the case. Oh, Kendall LeVron getting quite tight in the middle of the corner. He's able to keep it down. As he is still battling with Wachinski. Wachinski seems like he's starting to struggle. I think maybe that battle with Avery for those many laps is starting to affect his tire wear, as it looks like LeVron does have the advantage on the bottom. Don Avery trying to do everything he can to kind of push LeVron along. Almost looks a lot like a super speedway out here at Atlanta.
Yeah, but if you look at Avery and Wachinski, their fall off puts them side by side, and that's why they're falling through the pack together as opposed to apart. So I think those two guys racing each other that hard, it put them right where they're at right now. And similar setup.
Oh, Don Avery loses it.
Way loses it. That's definitely going to cost him any chance of getting any stage points out of this thing.
Yeah, I think that could definitely hurt his chances of getting the stage points. We'll have to wait and see how far he falls through the field. I think he fell behind Paul Olson, which would put him in the 12th place position outside of the points.
And the reason why we're bringing that up, because these points are so critical, especially during these stage events, Brian. And if you don't take advantage of the opportunity to get stage points, it's going to hurt you in the long run. And he is very close to Chris Severa in the points. So Severa, being in the lead right now, probably going to have himself a pretty squared away points day here.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. I mean, we talked about the points for Don Avery. Of course, Don and Chris both have 2 wins on the season, but Chris has 4 top 5s while Don only has 3. Now, these stages also could add up to why they have such a difference in their points tonight. Of course, that could change quite a bit. It could change for the worse, though, for Don Avery, as Josh Schaffner now side-by-side with the 28 of Kendall LeVron. Not quite able to get the run off, though he needs on the bottom line. Looks like it's just very difficult to get that pass completed when you're on the bottom. I think the perfect place to pass, it seems to be, is the top lane if you can get that nose to that right rear.
And this is where it's going to start to get very tricky for these guys, as we are right now in that part of the stage where tires are going to be starting to scream. Some of these drivers now have already eclipsed into that greater than 33-second lap time. Chris Severa, your leader, being one of 2 that are still sub 33 seconds. That's him and Kenny Powell. Everybody else is already over 33 seconds, right?
Kenny Powell's almost bump drafting Chris Severa through the corners. You can tell he's trying to push him a little bit harder than he wants to go, and I think Chris might end up folding because Kenny Powell is putting a lot of pressure on him, and Powell desperate to try to see if he can't get a stage win here.
Now, yeah, everybody on the racetrack now is over the 33-second mark, and that lets us know that we're in that part where drivers are having to be very cognizant of what they're doing. As Jose Acosta now makes contact with the wall, that's going to definitely shove off a lot of his speed and play into the favor of Don Avery as he is trying to get back up into the top 10.
Yeah, I think that will put him up into 11th now. But it looks like Jose trying to maybe work his way back around the 11. There's some hard racing out here at Atlanta.
Well, remember, bad tires don't get better with laps, right?
That's very true, as we have, I do believe, now less than 5 laps to go here in this stage. Of course, stage 1 concludes on 35, going to 36. Looks like Schaffner has gotten the pass completed on Kendall LeBron, moves his way up into the 4th place position. Chris Severa still trying to hold off Kenny Powell.
Yeah, Don Avery is definitely going to have to try to at least get up and around Paul Olsen. It's not a tall feat to do, but here comes Jose Acosta. He is going to be putting as much pressure on Mr. Avery as possible because he's trying to get back up into the top 10 as well, Brian. Here comes the 64. Looks like the 54, sorry, Randy Mullins. Looks like he's off pace just a little bit as he is starting to kind of start his descent there from, well, no, he's starting to kind of reel back onto the back of the 28.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely got a little bit better long run potential than he did, I'd say, on Thursday. You know, we saw that 54 being
I don't think he was still in here.
Well, that's true. But I mean, whenever he was out there, he still was definitely very much a top 10 car, and he ran somewhat up front. I do believe he might have led some laps, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but he was gone soon, way too soon.
100%. Chris Severa has weathered the storm that Kenny Powell was bringing to him. And I think that's what you got to do. You know, Kenny was trying to push Chris. Chris did not fold. And I think that's what, you know, separates Chris from a lot of the drivers out here. You could push and beat and bang on him all you want. He's going to be still right there. I mean, he's another one that kind of is worthy of that Iceman moniker.
I think you kind of lure him in. I think that's what he did. You know, he just kind of gave Powell that, you know, chase that carrot mentality. And Powell kind of like, did, you know, and we've seen Schaffner do that as well. So that's not a tactic that's new to us. But man, Jose Acosta definitely on a tear now as he has made his way all the way back up to 9th place.
Yeah, of course, we saw him at the wall fall all the way back into the 12th place position. So he's definitely been making up a lot of time after that big mistake.
Greg Wachinski, speaking of big mistakes, you know, he kind of started this thing on the outside of row 2. He battled with Don Avery consistently for so many laps now. I think both of those two drivers kind of learned that maybe not be the play that they take here the next stage, as the white flag is out in this stage. We're soon to be putting this in the books. And Paul Olsen into the wall. That might bring out a caution. As the 43 of Olsen is still kind of hanging out, malingering on the backstretch.
He's now down on the apron. I do believe he did hit the wall. Caution should be coming out anyways here soon, and there it is. That will complete stage 1. Oh, Paul Olsen comes up in front of Joey Prevey. That was a scary situation. I think Paul Olsen might have broken a toe link.
He did. He does have a meatball flag. He had significant contact with that outside retaining wall, Brian. Not good for him. Going to cost him at least 8 to make him great again.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for him, but that was a close call for Joey Prevey there.
Yeah, that was a very interesting stage. But with it in the books, though, stage 1, your winner, Chris Severa, Kenny Powell, P2, Josh Schaffner in 3rd, Dan Mullins 4th, Kendall LeBron in 5th, Randy Mullins 6th, Greg Wachinski 7th, Gary Adams in 8th, Jose Acosta in 9th, and Al Kozlowski is going to round out those top 10 points paying positions with stage 1 in the books with our stage caution pit stops underway. We're going to take a brief step away, get a word from our sponsor so we can pay some bills, ladies, and we'll be right back. And I think Brian's going to be talking to Chris Severa, right?
Yeah, I probably will. We'll be right back.
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, yellow flag pit stops are taking place. The right sides and left sides both going up there. So everybody taking a full set of tires here. Chris Severa is going to win the race off of pit road. Kenny Powell, of course, going to come out in second. Schaffner in third. Great job to those guys on the pit road. Crew's getting them off just like they need to. But I do believe we're going to be joined in the booth by our Stage 1 winner, Chris Severa. Chris Severa, do you read us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, definitely awesome job out there on the racetrack. We know Kenny Powell was starting to put a little bit of pressure on you, but you didn't fold. How's the car handling?
Car's good. I think it's really locked in for the long haul here.
Yeah, definitely seems like it for sure. What kind of preparation did you do coming into tonight's race for Atlanta? I know you've done some A Opens this week, I do believe.
Yeah, that's just about it. So, yeah, just getting comfortable with the car. The car's really good all overall. You know, just in dirty air, clean air. It just feels like it can do it all. So, but yeah, no, very comfortable right now.
Well, it definitely seems like it. Congratulations on your Stage 1 win. I know you're getting ready to get them all double back up and back to your job of winning some races if you can. Who can we give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, big shout out to Gas and Go and TWR Setups, and you guys as always up in the booth. Appreciate you.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for your time and good luck.
Thanks, guys.
That was Chris Severa, of course, your Stage 1 winner, and he's going to be getting back after it here in just a moment as they're on the backstretch. Pace car lights are out, and I don't know. I mean, what do you think is getting ready to happen here, Big Al?
There's been a lot of exciting things happening right now, Brian, as Paul Olson is still trying to make it around pit road here. Not sure what's going on. He's got his meatball flag removed. Looked like he did get, yeah, not sure. I think he did get the lucky dog as well.
Well, that's definitely good for him, just considering. I mean, I think that he must not have had the full 8 minutes then. That's good. But green flag is back out. Chris Severa wasting no time. Definitely catches a lot of those guys sleeping, it seemed like, because he's got about a 0.3 of a second lead going into turn number 1.
Yeah, but look who's behind him, though. Here comes Schaffner. You know, he is making his way up front. Powell's going to push the issue. I think right now this is going to be a longer stage than the last stage, and if we can actually keep the caution flag from waving in the air, I think a lot of drivers are going to be figuring out a lot about themselves and in their cars here on this run, Brian.
Yeah, Kendall Ron now back up into the 5th place position. Of course, we saw him start to fall back a little bit at the end of that run on that last stage. Looks like he is right back here and raring to go. Look at Randy Mullins up to the top once again. Also, Gary Adamson and Greg Wachinski both up at the top of the track.
Yeah, but
as
here
now
comes
side by
Kenny
side
Powell.
for the lead.
Kenny Powell is going to be challenging Greg Severa for the lead.
Greg Severa.
Yeah, Severa's going to go ahead and relinquish that one. I think he's just going to let Powell run a little bit. Severa, like you said, his car is fast. It's fast in dirty air. It's fast in clean air. That's what he needs. Don't get any more points for leading the lap. I think right now you just kind of chase Powell and just kind of settle in for this, what is going to be the longer of the 2 runs, but shorter than the 3rd.
Yeah, definitely going to be quite a long run here. And Kenny Powell, I don't know. I almost feel like he might have. I understand he wants to try to get to lead as quick as he possibly can, but I don't know if this is a good call for him. I mean, he usually, a lot of times, I hate to say this, but Kenny does burn his tires up. Now, he might not agree with me, but I do believe he could maybe burn his tires up this way. We'll have to wait and see how this kind of works out and plays out. Hopefully, if he could just maintain that gap between him and Severa. Don't push it. That is the key. We've seen that so many times, and it never works when you push it and drive away.
But, you know, and I want to say this before I say that, but I hope that the 43, Paul, if you're listening, turn your car off, buddy. I don't want you to cook your motor. But Powell has to know what his lap time needs to be consistently in order for him to be able to run the entire 40 laps of this stage before this thing actually goes, you know, back to caution. And I don't think they're expecting one, but, man, they're side by side right now. Josh Schaffner really high. He has got Randy Mullins behind him pushing Jose Acosta. Now going to be coming down low as Schaffner makes his move around Darren Mullins. Now he's going to be side by side with Severa. Very tight right there.
And Schaffner's already going for the lead. I mean, he had fell back to like 5th, and then all of a sudden he hit the boom button or something like that, and he said engage.
The Iceman coming.
I mean, he just literally flipped a switch and like, I'm fighting for the lead now.
Yeah, he's like he had that one of those little indie switches on there, huh? The pass switch.
Tell you what, the racing definitely getting very dramatic out here, very close, not a whole lot of room for errors out here. So these guys got to make sure they're on their toes. With the bumps on this track, you can't really run really close to someone because, I mean, if you hit a bump, it could send you into them.
Don't you think we need that, the go baby go switch there in NASCAR, maybe with 5 shots of NOS?
Yeah, let's do that. Randy Mullins, though, side by side with Josh Schaffner. He pinches Schaffner down, slides down right in front of the 50. Definitely a very close call. Almost was not clear. Also, Chris Severa, your pole sitter and Stage 1 winner, all the way back now in 5th place. Virgin on losing that.
By design. Severa is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's slipping back. Like you said, Powell's going to be out there. These guys are racing way too hard for money right now, and there's no money on the line. The money that's not going to start showing up until you get to at least about lap 70, Brian. So right now, what you're doing is you're just out there, hurting yourself, I guess you'd say.
Well, Randy Mullins looks like he's going to definitely try to lead some laps here tonight as he gets the lead from Kenny Powell. Powell trying to hang his nose right on his right rear. Now he's going to try to go underneath.
Yeah, Powell not going to want to relinquish this lead to Mullins, because it's a lot easier to pass somebody when you got fresh rubber versus waiting until late in the stage. And I think Powell understands the value of track position. Maybe his car not handling as well as that of the 6'2". But look at Jose Acosta.
But look at Kenny Powell threw a block on Jose. That was a big block from Kenny Powell. That could have been a risky maneuver this early in this race.
Say it again. Say that one more time. Say that one more again, as we say down here.
That could have been a risky maneuver.
Yeah, that could have been a bad day right there for a lot of drivers.
Blocking on, we're not even halfway through this race. It seemed like it worked out, but I'll tell you what, these guys they got memories. They will remember that. And Jose is one that, look at him, he's bump drafting Kenny Powell through the corner here, and I think that is the remembrance there. I think he knows exactly what he's doing here. Oh, Josh Schaffner sideways.
Sideways for Schaffner. He's going to save his tire. Sorry. Caution's still not out. Schaffner stuck somewhere between a rock and a hard place. Going to back it down below the apron, which is not going to work out in his favor. He's got to get that car right above the white line here. Oh, bigger problems for Severa as he makes contact with the wall. Oh, my God. This is just going to somebody just threw a whole bunch of what the hell's on the racetrack. Brian, what just took place?
I have no clue, Big Al. I was focused on Josh Schaffner. We're getting ready to see. See Chris Severa right here. Oh, you see Schaffner. This is when that happens. And not long after that, of course, I do believe Chris Severa is going to find himself taking a little bit of a ride.
No meatball flags on this one, thank goodness. Just minor incursions.
Looks like it was him and Kenny Powell that had contact. And then Kendall
involved. Man, that was a metamorphosis of Chevrolets if I've ever seen one. We had a Camry in there.
That was a Ford, I do believe, a Chevy, and a Camry.
I don't know what they're trying to make for the next gen, but I don't think that's the way we're going to get it
Making
done.
A hybrid there.
That's a heck of a hybrid they're trying to form.
Let's take a look at this. You see that Chris Severa tries to go underneath in the middle, 3 wide. Of course,
Powell got loose.
Unfortunate. You think so?
Yeah, let's look at it one more again. I think Powell got loose here.
He definitely slowed down quite a bit. So I'm wondering if maybe him slowing down caught Chris Severa off guard. Look at Powell.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was very slow compared to everybody else right there at that point. So I just think maybe, like you said, he could have got loose on the entry possibly, and just unfortunately, Chris Severa seemed like he paid the price.
A lot of action going on down on pit road, and this is definitely going to change this dynamic a lot because now we're going to get into a situation of the haves and the have-nots. And let's talk about that. What do you mean, Big Al, when you say that? Well, because here's what's going to happen. the guys that stayed out, Kenny Powell, LeBron, Keselowski, Preeby, Wachinski, and Avery, all 14 laps on their tires, right? This is where I'm going with that. Now, how many laps we got left in the stage? So, what you're going to have this situation, we've seen this happen before. You got all of these faster guys coming with fresh rubber, and they're going to be trying to get to the front, Brian. And that's where this big cataclysmic collision is going to occur.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you got Kenny Powell, Kendall LeBron, Al Keselowski all stayed out, and they are on 14-lap-old tires right now. So all the guys are on new tires.
All the way down to Avery.
Yeah.
All the way down to 6th place, which is Don Avery. And we've seen this. We saw the same thing happen. So, it's just a matter of time. But we know those guys that are in the back are going to be faster.
Yeah, they definitely will be, 100%. They'll have a lot more speed just considering this place eats up tires. I mean, 14, 15 laps, that's a long time of wearing tire to not go down and pit. But, I mean, I respect the call to save that set.
Yeah, it's probably going to need them, right?
I mean, it could. The shoe might be on the other foot later, and they won't have a set, and then they will.
And now I'm going to can I throw some more stickies at you?
Sure thing.
Joey Preeby now is being scored up in 4th place. Now, even though he might not be blinking, guys are still going to have a little bit of what we would consider post-traumatic past disorder, right? Because last time I tried to get around this guy, like he was all over the place. It's like a snake. So, I mean, that's going to play into the factor. It's just, I think it's a whole lot of ingredients that just got thrown onto this Skittle here, man.
It's definitely a can of worms. Somebody's mixing the shrimp and the chicken together.
And it takes way longer to cook chicken than it do to cook shrimp.
That's right. The shrimp will be burnt by the time the chicken.
Put that on your cracker, dude.
I'm definitely curious how much damage Chris Severa received. Josh Schaffner also had quite an impact with the wall. So this is going to be a telling thing. I mean, Severa, points leader, could have significant damage.
Man, but he's had more than enough time to get it fixed. And, this track is kind of aero dependent, but I don't think his damage was significant enough that he needed to spend a lot of time down on pit road. But I'm going to talk about the lucky dog here, and that is definitely going to have to be my main man, Don Avery. Because now he's got himself a position that he is way high up in the running here. Now, he's still got the older tires, but, I mean, what a comeback, right?
Here we go. Get ready to get this thing underway here. Kenny Powell going to be in control. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. They're going to have some wheel spin here, Big Al.
Yeah, watch for the wiggles on the start. That's going to be a key because if these guys up front, if one of these guys botches this start, that's going to give a lot of them the opportunity to maybe come down and get tires. And that's not out of the realm of possibility here, Brian.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And they could be forced to go down pit road and not even like it, just considering if they spin out. Or we could even see something worse than that. But it looks like they are able to get going without spinning them too bad. I think they were being overtly cautious there.
Everybody off and away, clear to go, good to go. Now that lead 6 is going to be starting to try to get out to as much of a lead as they can. They got about 3 laps until the guys with the freshies start to actually heat up and actually start to be able to be competitive.
Well, here comes one of the ones with the freshies right now. Randy Mullins. He's on fresh tires right now.
And Wachinski's already starting his fade. And he is really blocking the heck out of Severa right now. Gary Adamson also starting to make his way through the field.
Yeah, this has definitely been a crazy one. I think we might see some of these guys not make it home here tonight. Or they'll make it home, but they might be going home a little early, I should say, as Al Keselowski tries to work on Kendall LeBron here. The battle, this is going to get nuts, I have a feeling here.
Nuts to the German commander. This is definitely going to be exciting.
Definitely not a lot of real estate for these guys to be holding, but they are fighting for it. Physics will tell you 2 physical objects cannot occupy the same place.
Gets into the back of Powell.
3
now
wide.
We got 3 wide for the lead, Brian. And all of these guys are the guys with old tires.
I think Al Kozlowski just cut Kenny Powell a little bit of a break there.
Gary Adamson, the first guy on fresh tires now, starting to get up and around Kenny Powell here. He is going to be battling both Powell and LeBron, who got 20 laps on their tires for the lead. 3 wide back further behind those guys as Don Avery tries to slice down to the inside. But here comes the 54 and the 64. Father and son, Randy and Darren, as they're going to be making a run. Look at the move Randy Mullins makes to get on the inside of Gary Adamson.
Definitely some crazy racing, and we still have, I do believe, 17 laps to go as we cross the line. But Kendall LeBron up and down the racetrack. Of course, I do believe he's on older tires here, 21 lap older tires.
Absolutely. And everybody behind him, Brian, is sitting on the freshies. So he is the rabbit at the Greyhound race right now.
Yeah, and he is definitely throwing some major blocks.
And I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I would not be risking it this early to try to, I mean, you're on older tires. Don't put yourself in this position. We've seen Kendall have issues before and have bad luck. And I think that if he had bad luck from this situation, I think he put himself there.
Well, look who is coming right up on him here as he is continuing the battle for position. Kendall LeBron in 3rd place. He is the only driver on old tires that is literally up into the top 5.
I mean, he is still fast. I'll give him that.
And here comes Jose Acosta on the inside of Kendall LeBron.
And surprisingly, he's still fast. Because, you know, he was actually the one that had contact with Chris Rivera.
And here comes Gary Adamson on the inside trying to pass LeBron as well. And if Gary Adamson makes the pass, that will push LeBron out. He'll be in 5th place, and that's where he's at right now. So right now, the story is father and son, the Mullins duo. Randy is running away with this thing. Jose snug as a bug in 3rd, feeling pretty good about his performance here tonight. And Darren's just not trying to cash a check right now. He's just trying to live off of what he's got.
Yeah, for sure. Randy Mullins definitely starting to take off. He's got about a 6/10 of a second lead right now over his father. Of course, Gary Adamson's still right there in the picture. Now he's got back into LeBron. He can start to focus on that 42, so definitely have not settled out this top 3. Definitely still a lot of racing left to go here in this stage. Anything could still happen.
Yeah, we're almost coming up on, I mean, we still got some 13 laps to go in this stage, but I don't think tires are going to get better. I think the guys that are up front, their tires are going to get worse, but they're still going to be a lot better off than the guys that are behind them. You know, if you didn't care about stage points, then that was the call of the race. Save that set of freshies because I think you are going to see a caution later on in the end of this thing as Josh Schaffner now makes his way around Joey Preeby. That's going to be the battle for 11th place. Schaffner trying to get back up into the top 10 because, look, points matter, baby.
Yeah, of course they do. And I think Schaffner's limping a little bit, in my opinion. I think that car don't look bad, but I think there might be some damage on that race car. And you can see, I mean, he's having problems earlier. I mean, he was earlier fighting for the lead. Now he's all the way back here in 11th position. Of course, Chris Rivera is in 9th. They're definitely going to be wanting to use this next stage break, as much of it, to get some of that damage fixed. Because even though it might not break the toe link, Big Al, sometimes you bend it and it still affects your handling.
But I don't think it's damage, bro. I mean, I love you like a play cousin, but I think they're just on old tires.
I don't know. I mean, they did hit quite hard though, Big Al. I mean, had multiple.
They're still running sub 33-second laps with 27, almost 30 laps on their equipment, bro. That's pretty good. I just think what you're seeing is that lead pack, man. I mean, they got fresh rubber, and that makes a huge difference. We were talking about that at the start of this thing, man. Tires. I mean, I wish I could say it in 5 different languages.
Well, the thing is I'm looking at what's interesting about the point you're bringing up here. Is Severa pitted exactly when these guys up here in the front pitted. The same with Josh Schaffner. They spent about 25 seconds down on the box. I'm wondering, did any of that time, was it utilized for tires, or was it just purely damage?
Yeah, I don't know. But I definitely don't. They're not running. They're running at a good pace for having as many laps on their tires as they do. You know what I mean?
If they like that's what I'm saying, big guy. I don't think we can confirm whether they took tires or not right now. I mean, they went down pit road when these leaders did. So I mean, I think we're gonna have this question.
Well, no.
Soon.
You remember? No, they stayed out during that
they
last
didn't.
part.
They definitely did not.
Okay.
It says it right there on the graphic here. They pitted on lap 15 along with Randy Mullins and Darren Mullins.
Well, I've got Powell.
Powell's on old tires, definitely.
Yep, I see you. Yep, Schaffner is definitely on new tires. Him and Severa, you're absolutely right. And I don't think they did change tires. I think you're right.
They might have just took damage, but I mean, I just can't confirm it.
Damage. Yeah, they were probably just fixing damage.
Well, we'll have to see how, I think once this caution comes out for this stage, I think we're going to figure that out because everybody's guaranteed to take tires here at the end of this stage. And I think that's going to be when we're going to really have a good judge on Chris Severa and Josh Schaffner. Are they dealing with a blindfold on or a hand tied behind their back right now? That's my question. Could definitely go that way for sure. But I'll tell you what, Darren Mullins has a eye full, or I should say a rearview mirror full, of the 36 right behind him and Jose Acosta. So this is where the battle's at for this second place position. And Gary Adamson is somewhat a stranger to being up in the top three. But look at him go right now.
You can't be mad at him. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, very much is. He goes to the top side. And he was my pick. A little contact with the wall there for him. That's not going to help him out too much. Because now Jose Acosta's going to try to take advantage of that little mistake there.
Oh, man. Long live Jose.
No way, Jose. That's what I'd say if he was trying to pass me. As it looks like we're getting ready to have 5 laps to go here in the stage.
And wow, what an interesting stage this one's been. But Randy Mullins, I think that's the story, is he's literally in a different time zone, Brian. It's almost a long-distance phone call.
Yeah.
Talk to this guy on the radio.
He's got to send his dad a letter.
Car 54, where are you? That's where we're at with this one.
Well, speaking of which, we talk about his father there. Darren just got passed by Jose Acosta. He's going to go underneath and try to cross him over here. Now less than 5 to go. Soon to be 4 next time by. And it looks like Jose Acosta does take over the second place position. I know Abner's probably sitting at home watching and very proud. I know that Jose's, a lot of his family watches the races that he competes in here in the ISCA as well.
Yeah, if Mama Acosta's watching, hey, how do you say it? Hello?
Yep, that's it.
I drew a blank there, Brian. Don't get bad. I was going to try to say something quippy like, hello in Spanish, but I
Hola?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hola. I'm trying to be funny. Bonjour.
I wish I knew how to say hello in Chinese. I would. But side by side, Darren Mullins and Gary Adamson. Looks like Adamson is going to be able to possibly get by the 64 here and hold on to a third place position here. Next time by, 2 laps to go in the stage. The field is quite spread out except for this battle for third right now. But it looks like Gary Adamson's starting to check out a little bit. What I'm noticing, though, is it looks like Acosta starting to catch Randy Mullins a little bit here. Maybe not by much, but I do still feel like there's some chinks in the armor of Randy Mullins' long-run potential.
Yeah, but here comes Mr. Keselowski. He's going to be trying to make his way around Kendall LeBron. That's going to put old Al up in the 7th place should he complete the pass. But yeah, I don't know, man. We're going to have to see because this definitely doesn't display long-run speed or tenacity. This was a relatively short run for the majority of those guys that did take tires, yeah.
Oh, look at this. Keselowski. Oh, this is a scary situation. He is pushing up really a lot. A lot of dirty air. Then a little bit of contact with Kendall. I think he got out of it so he wouldn't hit him. So Al's looking tight. Al looks tight right now.
Well, you're going to be tight if he's wearing LeBron like a Band-Aid a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it looks like he's they're two different. They're two of the same car or attached almost for a moment. He definitely is not giving him a whole lot of room and crowding him quite a bit. But now Chris Rivera is going to enter the equation. As when we cross this line, I do believe stage 2 is going to be in the books. You just got to wait for the 10th place car to get around. And caution's out, and that will complete stage number 2. Randy Mullins going to be the stage 2 winner. Jose Acosta in second. Gary Adamson in third. Darren Mullins in fourth. Kenny Powell in fifth. Sixth place, Don Avery. Seventh place, Kendall Levron. Eighth place, Chris Severa. Ninth, Al Kozlowski. 10th, Greg Wachinski. Those will be the top 10 points paying positions, and I do believe they will probably be going down pit road, grab some set of tires. We'll be able to answer some of the questions we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier, and we'll be right back, and we'll see who Big Al wants to talk to.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms. From camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so talking, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the pit stops have completed here. Randy Mullins is going to manage to win the race off of pit road with Jose Acosta in second. Gary Adamson, fine job on pit road. He's able to maintain third, and he might have a real shot of getting a podium here tonight. I do believe Big Al is going to be speaking with someone, not quite sure who. Big Al, the floor is yours.
Hey, Randy Mullins, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, man, I just want to say, what is going on down there? Looks like you found yourself a whole bunch of go fast.
Yeah, the car was good Thursday night, but we had some technical difficulties, so I didn't get to finish that. First stage here, I was just kind of riding to see what it would do, and then second stage, I felt good. I did waste a set of tires, but I really thought everybody else was going to go down pit road as well.
We got to risk it for the biscuit, right? I mean, that's the only way you're going to get paid. Those stage points are going to be very valuable. So I think that might be the call of the race. Do you think you're going to actually see another chance to late in the race for a caution?
I really don't think so. I personally think this is going to go green the entire way just because the field's so small. But I could be wrong. I hope it does. This car is really good on the short run and the long run. In the middle, it's not that good. So I'm going to have to save for about 15 to 20 laps before I can go this time.
What do you consider in a long run? So you're going to, I mean, obviously I'm trying to pick your strategy out of you. Are you going to go to the end of the window, or will you expect to see you coming in more to the beginning or the middle?
My plan is to take this until she's empty. So I'm going all the way to the end.
All right, good deal. Can't wait to see that, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you at the end of this thing. Looks like you're going to be getting back to work here pretty soon, but before we let you go, boss, who you can be shouting out here just a little bit in this midway shout-out?
I just want to give a shout-out to my teammates, my dad, and, you know, we've been working good together this year, and then Derek, we talked a little bit this week, so shout out to him, and then Kenny for putting on the league and the sponsors for helping out.
All right, bud. We'll let you get back to it, man. We appreciate you and love what you do. Good luck to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, buddy. Hopefully I'll talk to you as well.
All right.
That was Randy Mullins, our Stage 2 winner. So we've had two different stage winners here tonight. And here we go. Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing back underway once again. Now, Big Al, we're going to have, I do believe, 83 laps to go here. when the green flag comes out, maybe 84, I do believe, if my math is actually correct. Now, I did a little bit of calculations while you were having a chat with Randy Mullins there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of times these guys like to split the runs in half, right? Well, if they
Is that
did
why your
that,
shoes were off?
yeah, that's you heard you probably heard the buzz, the
I
gears
smelled
churning,
it.
and
I smelled you pulling the. I smelled your feet, but I heard the Velcro come undone. Go ahead.
But if these guys split it in half, I'm expecting to see them down pit road about 120, 125, somewhere in there. If green flag, if this goes green, that would be, I think, but we could see some guys go a little bit later, and we see that a lot, where guys kind of wait a little bit. They make sure they have the newer tires later. That could be a worthy strategy here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Randy Mullins, though, going to get the green flag out in the air, and he wastes no time to get up through the gears as he gets cleared for the lead.
No, he said that he was going to have to save for 15 laps or so, and he's planning on running out a tank of gas. Now, I don't know if he was saying that just to kind of throw other drivers off, but if he were able to make that happen, I mean, just what a feat that would be. Because you know me, man, I'm all about longevity. As Al Koslowski now is going to be trying to make his move.
Wow.
Coming along the older Mullins.
Look at that.
And he gets into Kendall LeBron.
No.
And Kendall LeBron gets sideways, pedals through it. Caution is out, though.
Now, that changes all those numbers I was just saying.
Yeah, that's definitely going to cause a little bit of chatter on the radio.
Yeah, I don't think those guys I don't think Kendall LeBron very happy with Al Koslowski. Let's take a look back and see what happened. Al Koslowski, I do believe, a little bit further back from Kendall. He comes up on Darren Mullins, almost even hits Mullins there, but he was able to get some evasive maneuvers here. He dives in low under Kendall. Yeah, just gets underneath Kendall and just turns him sideways. Luckily, not a whole lot of contact there. Kendall should be able to limp that off pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And then next time, move out of the way. I mean, that's what Koslowski was saying.
That's what I think that was the message he was trying to definitely put out there.
Look, here's the deal. I mean, the 88 Speedway Angels car gets mighty wide going through some of those turns. So if you haven't heard that chrome horn yet, I think you will figure it out. I mean, no disrespect.
You wonder why his car is chrome, right?
Yeah, I'm just calling it like I see it, boss. That's what they pay me for.
It looks like Paul Olson getting a lap back. That's good to see.
Yeah, Paul Olson is definitely going to enjoy that. That's going to put him back. Well, he's still 10 laps down, Brian. So got a lot to contend with. Don't think we're going to have enough cautions to get him back on the lead lap.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that, man. You sure? Because, I mean, cautions breed cautions. You know how that works.
Well, I don't know. I think we're going to wrap the weasel right now.
Wrap the weasel. Okay.
Well, yeah. I think,
is that a new one? Is that a Big Al original?
Yeah, that just came out. What I'm saying is I'm pretty sure somebody has got a silencer that's being applied. That's all I'm saying. You know, maybe some words are saying, hey, look, guys, we got a lot of racing to go. Well, hell, I'll do it. Hey, guys, look, we got a lot of racing to go. Let's just be patient, try to get through this thing. We only got, everybody can get paid here tonight. Everybody's girlfriend's going home with them. It's more like a family race here. And the 5 of Wachinski comes down pit road. He's going to be topping her off here, trying to get as much fuel as he can in that thing.
Yeah, could be a good call. They're not in the range to be able to make it. We talked about it before at the beginning of the race. 64 laps is the distance that you would need in order to make the run, and they still have, I do believe, just under 80. They're getting close.
What's the over-under on somebody making it 64 laps?
I mean, I would assume that everybody's capable of making it at least 64. I mean, that's.
Do you think we're going to even have a car that makes it to 50?
Probably not. Now, when you, I think what you're trying to refer to is the tires. Now, that's a different story. That is a completely different story. Now, I'm talking about fuel.
We got.
Fuel, they can make it 64, but yeah, tires, maybe not.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I got it. It's going to make a difference because you won't have to put as much fuel in the car when you do pit for tires, because that is going to be the delta right there. So I understand why the 5 would do that, because, you know, when he does come down, he's going to have that much, you know, that less time that he's going to actually have to sit there. So smart move on his part. Totally understand it. Because no matter what, you know, you got to put gas in them.
It ain't got no gas in it.
it ain't got no gas in it. I love it. Also, what I love is the lights are out on the pace car. We are doubled these things up, Brian. We got ourselves 79 laps to go, just outside of that pit fuel window, which you were talking about. Fuel window on these cars tonight is going to be 64 laps, and we still got ourselves just over, you know, just under 80 to go. So, going to see green flag pit stops regardless, providing there's not a couple more cautions. Now, if there is a couple more cautions, you know, we'll just have to definitely come back.
I was about to say, I thought we were at the racetrack, not a casino. You over here placing bets. Talking about you're over here.
You can bet on online racing, can't you?
Not in South Carolina. That's illegal.
I'm not in South Carolina.
But here we go. Pace car getting ready to take that left turn down pit road. And Jose Acosta going to lead us to green for the first time here tonight. And there it is. The green flag is out. Not that great of a start from Don Avery. Kind of splits Jose and him up quite a bit. And that checks up the bottom line. But Jose gets a heck of a launch. Both lines scrambling to try to see if they can't catch that 42.
I think Jose kind of did that by design just a little bit. It wasn't necessarily that he kind of caught Avery slipping. He just kind of caught him, you know, in between gears, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, that must have been. But, of course, now you know at these mile and a halves, the draft is such a huge thing. Even though this is a unique mile and a half, the draft is still a big part of it. So that's going to give the 11 a little bit of a run in these straightaways to try to catch up there to Jose.
Yeah, that track temp now has creeped all the way up to 116 degrees, just
wow.
now down to $1.15, you know, because of that partly cloudy status. The track had just a little bit of overcast on it, and that actually cooled it down a degree. But, yeah, a lot hotter than it was there for us. But guess what? The 16's back to blinking, and that is going to cause an issue here, as he is right up in the thick of things. And now he has Keselowski down on his inside, and Gary Adamson are right behind him.
And don't forget, the 88 and 28 have a little bit of history here tonight. I don't believe that is going to be, you know, forgotten. We'll have to wait and see how this all kind of turns out as everybody's racing. Kenny Powell, I think, you know, he was a little bit closer to the front. He's all the way back in 11th now. So I think he might have been on that same strategy with Greg Wyszynski. But Jose Acosta is your leader, about 3/10 on Don Avery. And what if that 42 goes back to victory lane? Hadn't seen that in a while, I don't believe.
Yeah, the 54 is sliding back now. He is, as he previously briefed, a heck of a crossover there from the 64s. He lurched forward. That puts Darren all the way up into third place as his
88
all the way back.
No, 88. No, I know. I'm just moving on to something else here. Al Keselowski over here just jumped underneath Kendall LeBron and made that pass stick. He is now in front of Kendall and trying to catch up there to the back of Chris Severa. But you mentioned it, Darren Mullins has worked his way up into third place. You see some more battle a little bit further back, I do believe, with Gary Adamson.
And I want to say kudos to Keselowski because what he did was, that's why you laughing. That's not what?
Just the way you said it. I don't know.
Oh, the 54 gets into the 50. Just a little bit of a love tap there from Randy to Josh Schaffner. But yeah, I was going to say kudos to Keselowski because I think what he did was, you know, he kind of let the 28 get back in front of him, and then he kind of came back and he completed the pass in an honorable fashion. I don't think he intended to wreck him. I think it was just one of those racing deals.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of the racing. I think a lot of the accidents tonight have just been racing deals. Of course, none of them really out of malice. You know, just guys fighting for real estate, and when you're going for the same piece of real estate, you know, you can't occupy the same real estate. I mean, that's physics for you. You know.
Yeah, and I guess I will give some acknowledgement, man, and kudos to the 42 Jose Acosta. He is now got to be, I think, like our 5th leader here tonight. So now he is out front and running away with this thing. But Brian, a lot of racing left to go. So, in what the one thing that I am still poised in position for, that's going to be green flag pit stops. That's the next major muscle mover that we got to contend with here tonight, and I think that is going to kind of seal the deal for a lot of guys here, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, we mentioned before about 120 to 125. I think that number has kind of changed a little bit. I would say probably more like 130 probably be the time to come down. Maybe 125, so maybe 125 to 130. Pushed it back a little bit. So I would expect that's when we're going to see pit stops. We just saw Al Kozlowski get by Chris Severa, and now Al Kozlowski trying to work on the 64. So the 88 Speedway Angels machine is well and truly moving through the field. We'll have to see. Hopefully he's not burning his tires up. We know he doesn't have that mode.
And I'm telling you, I'm liking more and more what I'm seeing from the 54 of Brady Mullins, because he is slowly slipped all the way back to 10th place, Brian, and he is yielding even more positions. This guy is on a save crusade here, Bubba.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I liked his interview. He kind of talked about how he has a short run and a long run, which we didn't really get to see that, evidence of that really on Thursday. But I think tonight his aim is to show that he can last on the long run. He's not going to burn these tires up.
But look who he is around. It's sometimes I judge people simply in the company that they keep, but right there in the frame with him, he's got the Iceman and Mr. Powell. So, a lot of guys definitely kind of duplicating plays out of each other playbooks. Everybody's kind of falling to the rear. If you even look at, cruising Chris Severa, he is even kind of drifting back a little bit. So I think these guys are definitely in conservation mode.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. I think that, they kind of calmed it down a little bit. They've seen these cautions kind of coming out as we see Josh Schaffner side by side with Joey Preby. He's going to be able to make that pass. Preby tries to cross him over, gets a little bit loose on the exit.
Yeah, Preby getting a little bit too close for comfort for me, just considering his blinking problem.
Yeah, like you said, some people probably got a little bit of some traumatic stress probably from that.
Yeah, I got friends with drinking problems, and I got friends with blinking problems, man. I just can't trust any of them.
We are getting closer and closer to that window opening for fuel. Of course, if they were to try to drive 64 laps, but I doubt anybody's going to want to do that. Now, if your car's handling poorly and you got to come early, we could see that happen, but that usually doesn't solve problems.
You're going to see a lot of guys actually have to dip down early because they're going to whip their pony. But some of these guys I definitely think are set up for the long haul, man, and they're just going to drag their camels across the desert. And that's what I'm so excited about here tonight, because it's really two completely different strategies that we're going to possibly get a chance to see unfold, just depending on cautions.
I feel like there's been a big mistake made on this racetrack from Jose Acosta. He was out to about a 1.5 second lead or something like that. Look at that now. He only has about 4/10 back to Don Avery. This is a clear example of someone driving away and burning their tires up. And I think Jose just made a crucial mistake that he's going to have a hard time recovering from.
What goes up must come down.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, you're 100% right.
But we've been doing this long enough, and we've talked about it.
See the patterns. We see them all the time.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Not going to let you drive my car. You're going to bring it back, not full of gas and dirty. Jose, he's going to get out there, and he's going to run it really kind of hard.
He's going to run it like a deer. A little bit of a different scheme for him, too. I mean, he's just kind of in the plain old John Deere. I think he was in that Kidder machine before.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe with everything that's going on with quote-unquote gun violence, he kind of rethunked that. I don't know. I'm a gun toter. I mean, I'm an Army dude. What do you expect?
Well, we didn't mean to get political here, Big Al. Just was commenting.
Oh, there's a lot, and there's a lot of different paint schemes tonight that I wanted to comment on. Severa's running a different paint scheme. Wachinski's running a different paint scheme. So, Yeah, I appreciate the amount of time these guys put into their rides. You know what I mean? When they come out
Yeah.
here.
Whoa! Don Avery able to get by Jose. But then all of a sudden,
the lead to Don Avery.
I think Don got loose. I don't know if that was based on contact there, but Don Avery does have the lead now. Kozlowski has worked his way up to second. I don't know how long Don's going to have this lead because I think Al Kozlowski's wanting to take it from him.
But I want you to think about what we're talking about. We're talking about where Mr. Mullins is in the back, Randy tight, and who he's around with Schaffner and Powell, and you've got Severa right back there. Now look at who's up front now. And nothing against Avery, but right there with Avery is Kozlowski and Acosta. And I think these guys are probably living a little bit more like life in the fast lane type condition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. But I think Don's been pretty good. He's shown that saving tires. So I think he might be running a good pace right now. We'll have to wait and see.
Like Don is like, you know how I say like Schaffner is like the Iceman? Don is like Don Corleone. You know what I mean? He's just out there driving his face. You know,
he's racing his own race. That's what he's always doing. Yeah.
You don't want to push him because you know you just know.
We've been watching too much Sopranos, man.
Man, leave me alone.
Kenny Powell, though, side by side with Gary Adamson, going to be taking over, I do believe, that 8th place position. So Powell on the march right now. Interesting how this is turning out. I mean, everybody seems to be on somewhat of a different strategy. This is a lot more of even though Thursday's race, Big Al, had 18 drivers in it, this one's crazier. This one is crazier.
Well, because you're actually you're seeing, because there's so few cars, you're actually seeing a myriad of different strategies kind of starting to play out, if you will. I mean, that partly cloudy condition, though, keeps keeping this racetrack at about $115. Right now, we're at 114 degrees.
And it keeps changing. I mean, you see it every now and again. It starts to get shady. It's definitely affecting the racetrack, I think, and it's going up and down. And that affects the handling of these race cars quite a bit, when that happens. You know, the shade on the track cools it down a couple degrees. And you'd be surprised at how different the car handles with just a couple of degrees difference. As Al Kozlowski hits the wall, he's going to take a trip to the grass here.
Be cutting the grass for us here tonight, Mr. Kozlowski.
We ain't paying him for that.
On the payroll.
He comes to a stop here.
That's going to hurt him, you know. And the one thing that I was talking about, you got a couple guys that were out there running, loose, fast, and unfortunately,
and he has taken a tow. But that is going to put him a lap down there. Oh, wow.
Mr. Kozlowski, by his own words, he cannot save. He cannot conserve. So
I think the car seemed like it must have been trending loose for him.
He burned it up, Brian.
Was definitely looking very fast. All of a sudden happened out of nowhere. Take a trip through the grass like that. You can see how many bumps are on that, infield section. He was. I think all 4 wheels probably left the ground there.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him out there, I was going, yeah.
It almost looked like an episode of Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, it kind of felt it. I was like, man, me and Al, what kindred spirits? I like to go mudding too.
Randy Mullins, though, trying to get by, I do believe, Gary Adamson here. Of course, Don Avery still your leader. He's got about 0.6 of a second on Jose Acosta. Chris Severa up into 3rd. He's definitely going to be the one to watch. And I think we've had our question answered. Earlier, I was worried because I was like, did Chris and Josh get enough damage to slow them down? I think you might have been right, Big Al. I think that they're fine. I think they're in good shape here. They're still in contention to win this race.
Oh, God, yeah. These guys they're in their prime. As a matter of fact, they've been conserving the whole time, and now I think you're getting ready to see that pendulum start to shift just a little bit. And what will happen is once those guys that are up front, once they start to get past, at that point, I think they're going to get signaled to go ahead and bring it on down pit road. Now, the guys in the back, I think they're in it for the longer haul, so they're going to get out there and they're going to start running until they see too big of a degradation in what they're losing in lap times. That's just Big Al's take on it.
It's very interesting, too. We're seeing, Jose Acosta. He had got out to a monster lead at the beginning of this run here. He got out to over a second and then fell back into Don's clutches. Well, Jose's staying right there. I don't know. I feel like he still might have a little bit of candle left.
Well,
you do see Severa. He's got a lot of candle left. I think Severa's been saving this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the bigger part. And once these guys start to reel you in, I mean, you've got maybe a couple turns where you can contest, but at that point, you know, it's just going to get risky because you're going to get pinched down or shoved up. And most, LeBron really loose there coming across the start-finish line.
Yeah, he is definitely loosey-goosey right here. That's going to take away a lot of his momentum, and that's going to give Josh Schaffner the opportunity to move his way up through the field. He's going to be moving his way up into 5th now.
But this is the longest run that any of these drivers have made thus far tonight, Brian. They're right now all 33 laps on their equipment. They haven't run 33 consistent laps here all night. And now
you're right.
The track temp's all the way up to a $117, 117 degrees there, so people won't get angry. But, so they're experiencing a lot of different things that they hadn't experienced thus far. Almost 3 wide here is Josh Schaffner slowly making his way up. He had just made it around Kendall LeBron. That's put Schaffner all the way back up in the 5th place.
Yeah, he's definitely been making the move here. He's trying to catch up there to Darren Mullins. Of course, you see Kenny Powell now side by side with LeBron. Kenny Powell earlier was in the lead of this race for a little bit. I know he's going to be wanting to get back there.
Yeah, and I think Powell is on his march to the front. Because what these guys have to do now is they have to now, in what I'm talking about the guys that I truly believe that have been saving. They got to get up to the front and then establish a lead. And at that point, Brian, then they'll actually know exactly how long they'll have to spend on pit road and how long they'll have before they actually have to pit. Here comes Severa now. He's going to be coming up onto the back of Acosta. And like I said, Acosta's going to have about 2 good turns to contest this before Severa actually is able to get around him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst person to ever have in your rear view. But Severa gets into the outside wall. He's going to lose, I think. No, he didn't lose hardly any momentum off of that. That was surprising.
Talking about that speed, man. That's that watermelon man move.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you just glance off of it, it doesn't hurt you as bad as it could. But I'll tell you, Jose has got a lot of pace right now. But that's why I was saying you don't want to have the 62 behind you. He's the guy. He's like the Dale Earnhardt. You don't want him behind you because he's going to give you probably 2 or 3 chances. and after that third chance, he might be going around.
With 49 laps to go here, I want to get you a quote, direct quote. So you're saying that Severa's a bully?
I wouldn't say that. I'm saying he gives you a chance. He gives you a couple chances, and if you don't get out of the way, you're going to get moved out of the way. Don Avery hoping that these guys battle each other. I think that's what he is aiming for, but I don't know. I think the pressure is going to start to get put on him here in a second.
Well, I'm interested to see because now also into the frame, now here comes Schaffner, here comes Powell. Still haven't seen Randy Mullins yet as he is still chilling way in the back. So that leads me to believe that he is really going to try to run this thing all the way out of gas, Brian. And if he does that, that's an even more interesting strategy because I do believe there is a pinnacle where your tires are only going to fall off so much. And when they fall off at that point, you're just going to be consistently fast. As Severa now makes his move on the inside of Jose Acosta. This is going to be for the lead.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get it here. I think Severa is going to lose some momentum on exit here. Jose is going to be able to maintain. We'll have to see how this kind of works out. Chris is staying strong and at 3 and 4. Now 3 and 4 is the turn to where you want to be on the bottom. But it looks like Jose is maintaining some momentum here, still drag racing. And this is just allowing the pack to catch up. We're going to see a 6-way battle for the lead here in a second, I do believe.
Well, Avery was trying to maintain as well, but he couldn't as he has had to pedal his car just to kind of keep it on the track. So what Jose is going to find out is the harder he battles Severa, the further back he's going to fall. And just like that, Brian, he hits the wall.
Yeah, that was not a fun hit the wall either. He lost momentum for sure off of that hit. Oh, the 64 gets a little tight on him here. This is getting close.
You got to accept it, though. I mean, that's the one thing I think that Jose has always had a problem with. Because right now, here comes the 64 Mullins. He's going to be trying to get around the 42. And, man, you know, you don't have the equipment condition to throw these kind of blocks at this point in the game.
Yeah, almost just a little over 40 laps here left to go. No one going to be able to make it on fuel. And if they keep driving the way they are, no one's going to make it on tires as well. As Chris Rivera starts to pull away. He's got about 6/10 now on Jose Acosta. Now, these guys behind Jose, if they are being held up by Jose, they're going to want to get by him as quick as they possibly can here. That way Chris does not get away.
And that's exactly the condition that they're having, because this is going to affect their pit stops. You know, a lot of guys' strategies are being impeded now because, you know, you were planning on trying to make it around the guys that maybe didn't save their tires, but instead, you know, you're kind of getting held up there, you know, running high 33-second laps, and you can't maintain that. Not if you're going to, you know, stay with Rivera, who is 33 and a half. The 43 of Paul Olsen making his way off of pit road. So now he's got, the 64 and the 16 both down pit road now. That's going to be Darren Mullins and Joey Freeman.
This is a little early. This is kind of earlier than I thought they would come. This is my original projection. I thought
this is the split. This is the 50-50 split for you right here.
Yeah, but I mean, with that caution, it kind of ruined it a little bit. So I thought it would maybe change it a bit. But I guess for them, they're going to stick with that initial strategy. Let's see what Rivera does. Jose Acosta, we're going to be watching all these guys very closely to see when they decide to come down.
I think these guys are going to stay out for a while. I mean, I think Rivera saved early in the stage. And right now, his whole premise is going to be how big of – because think about it like this. The 64 is going to fall off again. And now Schaffner's trying everything he can to get around Jose. And Jose is just – I mean, he is fighting them like it's like a heavyweight dogfight here.
Yeah, he is definitely not giving these guys – making an easy time for them all.
Powell down pit road.
Kenny Powell pitting on lap 122.
And I do believe that racing with Jose there probably had a lot to do with Powell's decision to pit as early as he is.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try to maybe pass him without having to pass him. You know, pass him on pit road. I think maybe what is the 24 might be thinking.
Yeah, get away from him. And now Schaffner is kind of backing up a little bit, so I think he is going to be bringing it down pit road pretty soon as well. Yep, there he is, Schaffner pit road. And, you know, because the thing is, when you're racing a guy that hard, it causes you to burn your equipment up, and that really kind of throws your whole scheme out the window, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, Jose racing those guys so hard did a favor to Chris Rivera. Rivera, he can write his own ticket right now when he wants to pit because he's not being held back by anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Wachinski's down pit road as well. But yeah, I think that really did kind of play into a lot of guys' decisions, Brian.
Here comes Gary Adamson down pit road. Randy Mullins.
Randy Mullins, a lot quicker than he projected. I think he stayed out as long as he could. Now we just got 3 guys that are going to actually try to make it to 50 laps, and that's if they're even planning on going that far, Brian. Having just 39 laps to go, I mean, they're well within what they felt and what they'd be programmed for. And I think just like that, Rivera coming down pit road, that's just going to leave Avery and Acosta out.
100%. Acosta right now on 48-lap tires. Of course, actually, Kendall Vaughn's still out there. Avery pitted about 6 laps ago.
Yeah, Kendall LeBron and Jose Acosta, sorry. But see, here's the thing, though. Now I think you got to come because your delta is against you. I mean, so many guys out there on fresh tires. You got to get back out there and gain that distance back in order to have the advantage coming down to the last 5 laps or so. Jose Acosta coming down pit road.
It looks like everybody's been able to get down clean onto pit road, and that's definitely good. As Kendall LeBron, I do believe, is the last man on the track right now. I do believe once he pits, that will put Don Avery in the lead.
Providing we don't have a caution.
See Kenny Powell right now coming up very quickly on the 16 of Joey Preby. Very close indeed. I'll tell you what, Kenny Powell definitely, I swear he's almost bump drafting at this track. How close he gets to these guys' rear ends.
Well, the one thing he doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to lose his momentum, Brian. And Powell, like I said, it would be the feel-good story of the race if he were actually able to put that 24 G&T Camry into the winner's circle, because he's been battling adversity. He actually came in second last week, and I know second on Thursday, so I know he is dialed in on this track with this car, and he is going to try to do the best he can to actually win this thing.
New leader Don Avery, as he's has taken lead, inherited it. Of course, Darren Mullins now up to second right now. Chris Rivera in third, Joey Preby fourth, Kenny Powell fifth, Josh Schaffner sixth. I do believe Jose Acosta going to be seventh right now. Gary Adamson, I think, is going to be eighth. We got to figure out where Kendall is going to settle out here. I think he might settle in 10th. He might get passed by Greg Wachinski.
So at this point, Brian, as we're stacking everybody up back together, now we're starting to look at the lone clock, because now it's time to pay the piper. These guys that pitted early, they're going to start to lose that in terms of speed here as these laps continue to tick off, and that's going to be a problem. It looks like we've got Al Koslowski just joined us up in the booth.
Well, that's definitely interesting.
Fellas, what's going on?
Not much there, Al. What can we do for you? You came to join us?
Yeah, I clipped the wall a little bit there. I thought I was going to have some redemption from my Thursday race after loading a qualifying setup and trying to race with that on Thursday and didn't do too well. I felt pretty good about this race, but that wall came out and grabbed me and took my steering wheel and did some funny things to it, so I parked it.
Yeah, definitely understand that for sure. We were wondering what had happened to you. We didn't know you hit the wall. We saw you go through the ride through the grass, though. We definitely saw that part.
Yeah, I was giving a little bit of a Duke boy shot there when you went plowing the grass for us, but we both commented that you're not getting paid for that. So,
yeah, you cut that grass. We're not paying you any wages for that. Yeah.
Oh, Kenny Powell gets into the back of Joey Preby. That time a little bit harder than the previous time. Not sure what's going on with these two, Brian, but they're not swapping. They're swapping paint, but they're not liking each other a whole lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it's super easy to get into somebody here.
Chris Rivera continues his march back up to the front right now as he is slowly catching Darren Mullins. And remember, Darren pitted a little bit earlier than Rivera did. And from what we've seen, Darren kind of burns it up a little bit quicker. He doesn't have the long run pace, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And so I think Rivera will make easy work of him. He might actually have turned this into a two-stop race for himself.
Of course, Don Avery pitted a little bit earlier than most of these guys. Darren Mullins, I think, has the speed to catch him, but Chris Rivera's the one to watch. He's not too far from Mullins as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rivera's going to be trying to get back up to the front. He is going to be the guy that I think we're looking at as far as where the actual line is going to be, because he is going to be one of the freshest tired guys that's going to be able to go for a longer duration. Now, I don't know if he's actually going to be able to conserve as much as he was at the earlier part of this stage, but right now, the pace that he's running, I think he has got one thing on his mind, and that's getting back out front. But right now, behind him, here comes Kenny Powell.
Yeah, and Powell's on older tires than Chris Rivera is right now, so it's surprising me that Powell has this much speed. Of course, we know Atlanta, even a couple laps is enough to be a big difference maker when it comes to it. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Al? You were out there dealing with the tires.
Yeah, it looks like Kenny's doing the same thing I did. He's eating them up pretty quick.
But
he's just playing that waiting game. He knows what he's got. He knows he's only got, 3 seconds to get to that leader. He doesn't need to eat his tires up. Don's probably doing the same thing I was doing in second place, just trying to get as much distance between me and third as I could, and you eat your equipment up. I mean, I hate to say that, but I know Darren's got a pretty fast hot rod, so he's going to catch him. I don't know if Severa's going to ride behind him too long. Doesn't look like it.
Nope, Severa's going to go around, and exactly what you said. But Powell, at this point, he doesn't have a choice. He cannot afford to let Severa get away from him. He has got to at least keep him close by if he wants any chance at actually being on the podium, and I think he understands that. So I think Powell's driving a little bit more out of desperation at this point than he is out of confidence and being comfortable.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, but sometimes that wall comes out and gets you when you do that and you make mistakes. So I hope he doesn't follow my lead and he ends up on the podium. That'd be a great day.
Yeah, he's probably taking every lap, second count, and every picture he can trying to run Severa's line. But Severa definitely is got to get back up front. And I think, like you said, he knows exactly how much time he has got to get there. He is just going to keep running those consistent laps, and he's going to kind of walk these guys down slowly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Severa, he's so methodical, like a machine, the way he handles these corners. He's wrapping it right around the bottom, and we know that that's a pretty good way to save your tires here. Now, you can run the top and still be successful, but I do see Kenny Powell probably losing sight of Chris Severa at some point, just considering, like you said, he does tend to burn it up a little bit more. Not more than a lot, relative to guys like Schaffner, I'd say that Kenny, on that scale, burns him up just a tiny bit more. Jose Acosta, though, is on newer tires. I think he could come into this picture at some point.
You know what, guys? I want to bring this to your attention right now. The track temp, 119 degrees, and we still got 25 laps to go. So these guys right now are going to be at the hottest that they've been, having to go the longest, the second longest that they've been. And I think that's going to just raise the probability up through the roof for a late race caution. Right now, the field is kind of spread out, but they're starting to get amongst each other again, and I think that just might cause a little bit of tension for us, if you will.
Yeah, if there's a late race caution, it's going to be beneficial to about half the field, because I don't know if you recognized earlier, half the field pitted and took a set of tires and pretty much wasted a set. So you got half his field still got a set of tires left, and tires are king. I mean, you see how quickly you can walk through the field with fresh tires.
100%. We're looking through the cockpit camera here of Chris Severa. He is closing in quite quickly on Don Avery, knocking tenths out every single lap out of his lap time here. And you got to think that he's going to be getting a whiff of that drafter soon in these straightaways. I mean, that's just going to make it even faster that Chris Severa is going to catch up here to Avery. But it's always one thing that we always say, Big Al and Al. It's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing completely to pass, especially with dirty air.
But you got to be methodical in these corners. I mean, I did a lot of things in these corners that I probably shouldn't have. You kind of get tempted to dive in a little deeper to get past somebody, and then you'll push up, So I don't think we're going to see Severa doing that, but I bet Don is pretty desperate right now.
Severa's already said that he kind of set his car up to run in the dirty air. It almost was like he preferred to run in dirty air, but right now I think Don Avery is definitely – Sherry's sitting there and she's got to be rubbing his shoulder saying it's going to be okay, baby, because he is feeling the wrath of Severa, because here comes Severa right now down the inside. And unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be anything Avery's going to be able to do except for watch him slide away. And here comes Powell as well. Powell having to do everything he can to try to get up there, because he knows his best shot, guys, are getting on the podium is utilizing the momentum that he has right now to get around Don Avery. But unfortunately, I think he's going to have to contend with Schaffner.
Well, I don't know if he might have to contend with Schaffner, but I think the person he's going to have to contend with is just like what Al, I think, was getting ready to say, is Jose Acosta. Because Jose is only a second back, and he is closing in very, very quickly on Kenny Powell. And I think that's why he has a little bit of a sense of urgency right now to get by Don Avery, put someone in between him and that 42.
And I'm going to tell you what, I would not want to be anywhere near Jose Acosta either, because we did see Jose, and he had tremendous pace. That was the thing. So if he catches Powell sooner than later and gets in front of him, that's problematic for Powell. As Powell loses it going down the backstretch.
Yeah, Powell just lost a ton of momentum off of turn 2.
We knew that was coming, though, guys. He was really kind of overdriving it. I mean, just trying to keep up with Severa.
Yeah, he got a little loose there and grabbed some toilet paper and wiped himself clean, and that kind of put him back there in Jose's grasp, because Jose's coming like a rocket right now.
Now, Powell's not going to be, I mean, don't expect Powell to concede second to Jose without a fight, because he knows if Jose gets around him, it's going to be almost impossible to get back around him.
Yeah, of course, Kenny Powell actually locked down second place on Thursday. He's going to be wanting to probably try to do it again here tonight, but I think Jose has a different story in mind, a different ending to tonight's race. As we have now less than 20 laps to go, 18, I do believe, this time by.
Probably too premature for Powell to push it as hard. I think he's already pushed it harder than he should have, and that's really kind of made the middle of this field, guys, really sketchy for me right now, because we got a lot. Avery. And this is exactly what I'm saying. We have a lot of guys that are out there that have pushed it way too hard, way too soon. And that's just going to make me kind of wonder how this thing is going to look stacking up as we come down the stretch.
Yeah, you can rest assured Avery is fighting with a 300 degree plus right rear tire right now to get that loose. So he's going to get even looser. I mean, he's going to use that wall to try to do the best he can here, but he's going to lose a lot of pace. I don't know what Darren's got underneath his car there, but he's definitely going to get around him.
Yeah, when that starts happening, it's so hard to get the heat back out of that tire. I mean, it's next to impossible to get it back out of that tire.
I think you're going to see the same thing kind of happen with Darren Mullins, because we've been watching this, and what happens is a lot of these guys, they go through that cycle, and like you said, Al, once you put the heat in the tires, it's hard to get it out. So here comes Schaffner. He's going to slip on up the line. I was talking about him. You know, he's one of those guys that's been saving. So, I mean, we still got 16 laps at Atlanta, guys.
Yeah,
you got to remember, Schaffner's a farmer. He's patient. He waits for the corn to grow, and then he picks it. So that's what they got going on here.
I love that. That is so good.
Hence how I call him the Iceman.
Yeah, ice and corn aren't the same thing.
Are you serious?
Are they? What?
No, I like mine better.
I definitely think Schaffner's going to get a third out of this at least. I think he's going to have enough still underneath him, because Kenny, he's really loose coming off that corner.
Oh, Schaffner gets loose there. That's going to allow Darren to kind of cause him to kind of stack up a little bit. Definitely affected his sight picture, if you will.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's that dirty air and also the high wind gusts we've been seeing here tonight.
Yeah, right now the wind's still out in the northwest at 14 miles an hour. Track temp kind of hanging in there in the buck 18. Oh, sorry, 118 degrees for all those people who are kind of concerned about the way Big Al talks.
You want to use the guy in front of you to push them as close to the car in front of them as you can, but in this case, it looks like Avery is just too loose, and Schaffner's decided he's going to press his luck and get around him and hope that Don doesn't get a little squirrely and come down to take him out. But he looks like he cleared him pretty good.
Yeah, he was able to get clear there. So hard to get that pass completed on the bottom line. I mean, to get the momentum off of the corner and not slide up into that guy above you. And I think Schaffner, you know, usually Schaffner's a very clean driver. I mean, he felt so bad on Thursday after that accident with him and Brian Johnson, and he does not want to repeat something like that again.
Well, I took him out. I think that was my fault, the wreck with me and him earlier. I don't know. I haven't watched the replay, but I thought I was holding the bottom, but I thought his race was over, and I was like apologizing in the race with him, telling him, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you there.
Was that the Schaffner or LeBron?
Yeah, I thought that was LeBron.
Well, LeBron just, I mean, I don't know what happened there. They all know that I'm going low, and if they don't want to go around, they go high, you know, so I guess he didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
your car is chrome for a reason.
Yeah, you'll love that if you watch the broadcast back.
Give them the chrome horns. They know
we had a little bit of a different take on that accident, but you're welcome to your own opinion.
I bet he did, you know, but I make it well aware that I'm going for the bottom, and I'm not afraid to dive bomb you. And if you're gutsy enough to pull in front of me, you may end up in the infield. I don't know.
Kenny Powell still doing his thing, but Randy Mullins, not sure what's going on there. He is considerably off the pace as he is way back in the back with Mr. Greg Wachinski.
And that's this is pretty crazy. You got to think, Big Al. Randy Mullins started on the pole, didn't he?
No, Chris Severa started.
Chris Severa started on the pole. Greg Wychinski started outside pole. What's going on with him as well? Like, I mean, this is not looking right. And I know Randy won
Greg
stage 2.
Greg had contact with the wall earlier on.
100%. But Chris Severa and Josh Schaffner has also had contact with the wall tonight. And they're still going strong, it seems. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, Randy is definitely a question mark, a huge question mark. He won stage 2. What's going on now?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Greg left in his qualifying setup. 10 laps to go, though, here before Chris.
We studied these guys in practice and found out that they don't have a long run car. The Mullinses are super fast for about 20 laps. And we were more afraid of Darren because it looked like he was going a little bit longer than 20 laps. But we definitely didn't think that Randy had a lot into him on the long run here. This is one of them tracks where we weren't afraid of him. I mean, one of the very few. You know, he's pretty competitive and he's pretty fast on these tracks.
Well, congratulations to him. He did actually walk away with a stage 2 victory on a little bit of a gamble with tires there, though. But with 8 laps to go in this thing, it is all but Chris Severa's. Like you said, the 54 and the 5 have kind of followed tremendously off the pace. 42, though, I mean, it's something to be said to Jose Acosta because he has held consistent pace, man. He has been probably a thorn in a lot of people's sides tonight because he was tremendously hard to pass. But, man, he has gotten holding good pace here, too, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the second fastest car on the track. I mean, him and Chris are very close when it comes to pace right now. So, yeah, I think he's earned this second place. If he finishes second right now, this is well earned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes Schaffner on that battle with Kenny. He is closing. He's going to be giving it all he's got here, and I think Kenny's going to give it all he's got. And it's just one shaking of that rear end away from Schaffner to catch him.
Yeah, the Iceman cometh. There's nothing you can do about it. When Schaffner starts to reel you in like that, you're just like a bass on a hook. As Kenny gets reeled in slowly but surely.
Yeah, Kenny Powell definitely probably watching the laps tick down, hoping that this race will be over very, very soon, and it will be. 5 to go, I do believe, next time by. But not soon enough, I don't believe, for Kenny Powell's liking.
Yeah, I mean, like Mr. Keselowski said, I mean, Josh is used to watching corn grow, so it's nothing for him to sit and slowly reel in the 24 Kenny Powell.
I don't think he's going to have
enough time. He'll be making popcorn out of him in a minute here.
Ooh, here comes Kendall LeBron as he goes by Darren Mullins. That's going to advance LeBron's position all the way back up to 6th place, which is a great move for him. He'll be our biggest mover of the night as he started all the way back in 12th place. 5 laps to go, if I didn't say that already before.
Kenny's losing a lot of time on that mid to high line there, and Schaffner's riding that bottom and just rolling it right to the wall. So I'm guessing about 2 more laps, and we're going to see Schaffner overtake Kenny Powell here.
Yeah, so really no major surprises here tonight, guys. I mean, everything kind of just played out. Really a lot more what we saw on Thursday night just kind of played out here tonight as Schaffner now makes his way on the inside of Powell, barring some late race caution. 54, Randy Mullins, his whole strategy, like I said, it's probably making it a 2-stop race. Looks like that indeed is what he is going to be doing. Man, just way too close to the finish to be coming down pit road, though, guys. Be 2 laps.
You can't take nothing from any of these guys. I mean, this track is brutal, man. This is really brutal. Once you start getting comfortable, hitting all your marks, that wall, I mean, it's got the safer barrier on a good portion of the track, but not the whole track. So you can ride the straightaway walls, but then the safer barrier pops out. I mean, this track is brutal.
2 laps to go before Chris Severa becomes a 3-time winner here in the Saturday series. Definitely a good points night for him. Jose Acosta doing everything he can to try to hold this thing in 2nd place. And I want to say to Jose's mom, if she's watching, hola. Thank you, Brian, for teaching me that tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we talked about it, I think, at the beginning of this race. We were like, could we have a tiebreaker between Chris Severa and Don Avery? Both of them 2 wins on the season, and it looks like Chris has got an answer right here.
But Chris is already in the lead, and he gets another top 5. So Avery's still struggling right here tonight. He is just in the top 5, but I think he did kind of lose. He didn't get any points in stage 1. I think that's going to be to his detriment. So I believe Severa extends that 18-point lead here tonight, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely going to extend that lead as the white flag is out. Chris Severa, I do believe he's going to exit turn 4. He's going to cross the start-finish line. Napa Auto Parts 250 winner, Chris Severa.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that was a boring finish for Severa. Usually he sends that thing sideways or drifts it around the corner or something. You should tag him on that there. Would you do the post race?
You're right, though. I mean, you're 100% right. Because what was it? I think last week's race, Severa almost threw it away, getting sideways off the corner there.
We're starting to expect a statement from him.
Of course, let's run through the rest of the field, though. Jose Acosta comes up here and gives congratulatory bumps here. He finishes second place. Josh Schaffner in third. Kenny Powell fourth. Don Avery in fifth. Kendall Avron, sixth place. Seventh place, Darren Mullins. Eighth place, Gary Adamson. Ninth, Joey Preby. And 10th, Greg Wachinski.
That's going to put Randy Mullins in 11th with Paul Osen, finding himself some 38 laps down in 12th. Al Koslowski disconnected with 57 laps down, and Derek Jacobs rounding out this 14-car field as Chris Severa begins his celebratory and continues his celebratory, I guess we would call it a ritual now because he does this so much.
Yeah, for sure. This is just a normal day for him. But we'll go ahead and take a brief step away. We'll be right back with our post-race show.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms. From camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgot.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, right? What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know how. Napa know how.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to get our post-race show started here. We're going to be joined in the booth by none other than Chris Severa, our winner here tonight. Chris, man, what a show here. I mean, of course, you had a little bit of trouble earlier, got into the wall. Did you think your race was over when that happened?
Yeah, luckily we got away with one there. Not too much damage to the car. So, yeah, kind of lucky there. But once we figured out it wasn't all too much damage, we knew we were going to play it a lot safer. Everything's a gamble there in stage 2 because everyone's going for the stage points, so it got a little hectic. But come stage 3, we knew we could just run our own pace and let everything else play out, and it worked out for us in the end.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it did for sure. I mean, you were able to kind of pull away from everybody there, finish with a 3-second gap. It was somewhat anticlimactic on how you finished this thing off. I mean, probably not a care in the world. Didn't look as crazy as last week's race when you almost spun it off a 4 on the last lap.
Yeah, it was just seeing what else I had left there at the end. You can make a little bit pace if you run up there in the 3rd lane, so I was just seeing what was up there. And there's a little something up there, but it's just a great track here. It's so dynamic with every lane that you can run all around here. So, yeah, just really love this track, and it's a great night for us.
100%. Now, how difficult was it to save tires out here tonight? Did you have to spend a lot of time kind of focusing on that?
No, just really just hitting my points lap after lap, just taking it one corner at a time, just really focusing on my points on exit, and just just doing that lap after lap. That was really it.
Well, it definitely seemed like it worked out for you for sure. Awesome work. I mean, I know you, like you said, you love this track. Probably going to be sad to see it go. We don't really know when we'll see it again, and hopefully we wish that this was still the version that they raced in NASCAR. But we got to settle with the Super Speedway for sure. What is your take on that? Would you want this track or versus the Super Speedway track? Would you prefer?
This track 100% of the time. Don't even have to think about that one. This is just, it's got way more character to it. And, people just, they turned Atlanta into a spectator track instead of a driver's track. So it's unfortunate, but that's a great thing with iRacing. We still got it here, and we can still enjoy it here.
100%. We definitely enjoyed it for sure, man. You got 70 laps led here tonight. You started first and you finished first. You won stage 1, so you got a lot of points here tonight. I do believe you're going to be able to spread that gap out a little bit from Don Avery. How you feeling about Iowa? I mean, you're going to be a little bit more comfortable, confident, maybe don't have to be as cautious going to Iowa because of your points gap now?
We'll see. We know we got a good couple of weeks left still in the season, so still got to take every race as they come, just one at a time. So Iowa's a pretty good track. I think we might have ran here one time with these next gen cars, like very early when we got them. But yeah, Iowa's another just great track, multi-groove. It's fantastic, and it's a short track, so it'd be good to get these cars running on that little thing there.
Yeah, 100%. Iowa, one of my all-time favorite tracks on the service for sure. Just so much fun, multi-groove racing. Can't wait to see what the next gen looks like there for sure. Definitely a little bit in the unknown, but I have a feeling it's going to be a really great race for sure. Great race to you for sure. Congratulations on the win. Think this actually is the tiebreaker for the season. You and Avery had 2 wins apiece. Now you have 3. And he has 2. So you are definitely clear and present as the favorite for the championship. Of course, don't let it all go to your head. Who can we give a shout-out to after this win tonight?
Yeah, again, just everybody in Gas to Go. Team Watson Racing for the set. It was a killer set this week. You guys, as always, for the booth, 3F Racing, and can't thank them enough. Again, everyone at Gas to Go for putting everything together. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks to you, Chris, as well, and we'll see you next week. That was Chris Severa, the winner here, and of course, next up, Jose Acosta. I do believe is going to be the next man up. Big Al standing by.
Jose, this big Al up in the booth. You got me.
I can copy.
Well, man, I tell you, if your mother was watching tonight, I hope she enjoyed the show because, Bud, you had quite a story to tell tonight. You started this thing, I believe, in 7th place, right?
I believe so, yes.
And I guess the story would be your consistency. So let's talk about that. When you pulled that thing off the trailer, did you think you had a podium car?
Uh, I think I did before I took it out of the trailer. I did race an official. Hoffman was there, and I was behind him. I did learn a little bit real quick.
Oh yeah, he seemed to be
And
your go-to.
yeah, and finish in the top three. I think he finished. I'm not sure. I know I finished in the top three, and I wish I could have had a little bit more time. Just like Chris was saying, that this track is kind of dynamic. You could kind of like run a little bit different lines, whatever. So I feel like I did not had a lot of time to like practice that.
Well, one thing you seem to have plenty of time practicing, that was blocking. Probably didn't make anybody's fan club tonight because you were definitely hard to pass, especially going into that third stage there when the guys were trying to get up to their pit windows. I think you might have even influenced some guys' pit strategies there. That was just good hard racing on your part there. What were you thinking at that point? Was the car just that bad and dirty air? I mean, what made you fight so hard to keep your position?
Well, I was trying to pit with everybody. Not sure if you look at, you're talking about the last stage.
Yes, sir.
Uh, just stay in the front, basically. I know in the beginning, a lot of people did not give me the enough room, right? So at the end, I was not gonna let that happen.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because you guys were racing really hard and there was nothing wrong with it. You were just really hard to pass. I guess that would be what I would say was going on down there tonight.
Yeah, I guess I was just basically racing my lane, kind of, and like Chris was saying, like sometimes, if you know how to race a different line, that actually help you to like stay on top, right? And it looks like you kind of like blocking the person or something like that, but I can't just let the pedal go every time somebody gets close to me either.
Oh no, I was just curious though. Definitely seemed like you ran good, consistent speed. Great race for you tonight. Next week we're going to Iowa. Not sure how much. What's your thoughts on Iowa? Totally different racetrack from Atlanta. But what are you thinking about just the track at Iowa?
Oof. It's a short track, so that's gonna be more interesting there. I guess hopefully there's not a lot of temper out there. Even we had kind of like a good race today. There was a couple stuff that happened during the race, so hopefully, in Iowa, we don't see none of that. So again, like I say every week, as long I keep it off the wall and keep my car intact and and finish, I guess we're gonna be top five car.
Okay, good. That's a great
Last week
prediction.
I said the same thing, top five car.
Yeah, and you finished second. So I mean, you're holding to your predictions there, man. And that's awesome. And we can't wait to get to see you out there. Um, Great race for you guys here tonight, man. Before we let you go here, who you shouting out for your second place finish tonight?
Uh, well, I'm gonna shout out to my son. He was also watching the race tonight. Uh, we didn't make it. Chris was fast, but next week, let's see what's gonna happen. And I know my mom's watching too. Um, John Deere, ISI Elite Training, and Team Puerto Rico Gaming. Uh, and that's it. And you guys, man, you guys for the group broadcast and for the league. I like it, man.
And I think Brian's going to get mad at me, but I do got to segue one more before I let you go. So I was sitting there and I was trying to be all elegant and I was trying to figure out how to say hello to your mom during the broadcast in Spanish, but I drew a blank and I was like, so I just said hello. I couldn't remember, but it was. And so
It's hola, hola.
yeah. Brian said hola, but anyway, yeah. Congratulations again, but I thought that was funny. Hey, back to you, Brian.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Jose Acosta. Awesome job to him for sure. And next up, we're going to be talking to Josh Schaffner. And if you just give me a moment, Josh, I'm going to see if I can't finagle getting your camera up here so kind of see what you while we talk to you.
I'll get back on there. Sorry, I think I just jumped off.
Oh man. What are you doing, Josh? Come on now.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I mean, we have it here for a reason. Here we go. All righty, there we go. Everybody gets to see you while we get to talk to you, Josh Schaffner. Definitely awesome performance here tonight for you. Third place, probably not exactly what you were looking for, but a good, clean, consistent run. Of course, it could have been a whole lot worse for you. I know you were involved in an accident earlier. Kind of saw you hit the wall. Walk us through kind of the thoughts that were going through your head back then. Did you think your race was over?
Yeah, definitely been an interesting week, and had a rough night Thursday too. Still want to apologize to Brian and the guys wrapped up in that. And not a lot of laps this week. Those are my first laps on Thursday of the whole week, and so ISCA was the only laps I ran. But yeah, I had a little issue there, kind of early in the race. I guess we'll take a look at that after the race. But yeah, luckily enough, even after going kind of nose first into the wall there, didn't actually have any optional damage or anything. So got lucky there, and tires were a little bit off after that, so just kind of maintained and. Yeah, I was able to get tires and kind of work back through there. And yeah, congratulations to Chris. He had a good run in Jose. And one thing, just kudos to Chris. He was awesome on and off pit road under green. Jose was too. And I was probably just a little conservative. That was my first green flag pit stop of the week. But yeah, congrats to him and Jose. And yeah, exciting race. It's a fun race in here with this package. And you really got to save the tires and know when to push and set the pace. But yeah, despite not many laps, it was a fun week.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it for sure. Now, I know you didn't have a whole lot of time. I know you had on Thursday, you had an accident a little bit earlier, but could you speak on the conditions Thursday versus now? Because it seemed like the conditions were very different tonight.
Yeah, there was a little similar pattern. Track was really hot tonight. I thought personally it was maybe a little hotter and slicker, but it did warm up Thursday and tonight. Yeah, I just thought personally it just maybe got a little more free. Had to kind of take care of the right rear. I actually thought Thursday I maybe was hurting the right front a little bit more, but maybe it's just driving style. But yeah, you just really had to have a lot of patience. Had to be careful on the throttle, and I think we all probably had a few moments throughout the race there. But yeah, just overall, just a fun track to race, and just really fun to run on those old surfaces.
100%.
Even though I'm up in Minnesota, but it's close to home, so yeah, hopefully we'll be able to put some laps in, and definitely want to have a good run there. It's one of the great tracks on iRacing, in my opinion. It's a good one.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to it as well. One of my favorites for sure. I'll probably say that time and time again. Everybody knows that about old Brian Britt. He loves some Iowa, and but we can't wait to see you there. I know you're good at saving tires, and that's what's really important there. Who can we give a shout out to after your third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Pioneer, and I want to thank Smith Farms, and definitely thank you guys up in the booth, the ICA, everybody at G&G. Congrats again to Chris and Jose, and yeah, just everyone that helps out and makes this thing go. And also just always want to shout out our farmers and ranchers across the country that work hard every day to put food on our tables across the country, and always want to give them a shout out as well.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Josh, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
All righty. That was Josh Schaffner, our third place finisher, and definitely an awesome race for all three of our top three. I mean, man, that at some points we had no clue who was going to win this race. I mean, because there have been multiple different leaders here tonight. We saw a little bit of drama. I think this race tonight, Big Al, was more dramatic than Thursday.
Yeah, I knew who was going to win. No, yeah, I do agree though, Brian. Just kidding. Yeah, it was definitely a very, very good show tonight, man. Great racing all over, man. It was it kept us on our toes, right? It was a pleasure to comment on.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely was a great race for sure. Can't wait for Iowa, and I hate to see this place go. I really do. I mean, it's been a phenomenal week of racing here in the ISCA to see all these, just seeing Atlanta, taking a trip back in the time machine, if you will. But definitely congratulations once again to Chris Severa for his win, and we appreciate everybody out there tuning in here to the ISCA, and hopefully you will tune in with us next week at Iowa, Thursday, I do believe, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when the broadcast will be starting there for that Thursday event. Actually, the race will be going green flag a little bit after 9:30, so make sure you're in your seat, got your snacks before then, and of course, the same time on Saturday, we'll be at Iowa both days, and hopefully we'll see you on those evenings for sure. And thanks, Big Al, for your help here tonight. And thanks to Kenny for putting all this on. And like I said, once again, appreciate everybody out there tuning in, and we'll see you next time.